هذه بتكفي مدرسة، بتكفي
هذه وقعت من الطيارة.
10,000 شخص بتكفي هذه المساعدات اللي بتكفيها.
لا بتجيب لك اللي جوات.
بس طيارة في الأردن ولا بين أمريكا.
In the early hours of Thursday morning, the Israel Defense Forces facilitated a humanitarian operation to help bring aid to civilians in northern Gaza. This was the fourth night in a row that we facilitated such an operation because we want humanitarian aid to reach Gazan civilians in need. You see, our war is not against the people of Gaza. Our war is against Hamas. It is Hamas who started this war on October 7th. It is Hamas that had caused immense suffering to civilians on both sides of the border. The IDF has concluded an initial review of the unfortunate incident where Gazan civilians were trampled to death and injured as they charged to the aid convoy. Our initial review has confirmed that no strike was carried out by the IDF towards the aid convoy. The majority of Palestinians were killed or injured as a result of the stampede. From the information we gathered from the commanders and forces on the ground, our initial review has indicated that following the warning shots fired to disperse the stampede and after our forces had started retreating, several looters approached our forces and posed an immediate threat to them. According to the initial review, the soldiers responded towards several individuals. As a professional military committed to international law, we are committed to examining our operations thoroughly. We have opened an inquiry to examine the incident further, which will help us reduce the risk of such a tragic incident from occurring again during one of our humanitarian operations. The incident will be examined in the fact-finding and assessment mechanism, an independent, professional and expert body. For the sake of transparency, we will share updates as our examination develops, hopefully in the coming days. I want to make something clear. Our war is against Hamas, not against the people of Gaza. This is why we are facilitating aid, creating humanitarian corridors, establishing unilateral humanitarian pauses, and exercising caution in our use of force. Israel and the international community are working together to enable the entry and distribution of humanitarian aid to the residents of Gaza. We coordinated an airdrop of humanitarian aid into Gaza, conducted by the United States Central Command and the Royal Jordanian Air Force. This is an important effort. We encourage all efforts, all of them, to help alleviate the suffering of civilians in Gaza. We have coordinated a total of 21 airdrops in northern Gaza in collaboration with France, the UAE, Jordan, Egypt, and the United States. We will continue expanding our humanitarian efforts to the civilians' population in Gaza while we fulfill our goals of freeing our hostages from Hamas and freeing Gaza from Hamas.
One day after the tragic events at the Beach Road checkpoint, where hundreds of people lost their life and were injured. This is the first UN mission with WHO and UNICEF colleagues to the north since then, and we have brought fuel, medicine, vaccines, and specifically malnutrition food. We hope that in the coming days, large convoys with food will come into North Gaza, and in this way we can then reach people, talk to them, and see what other needs they have.